these social media platforms have made it so that we don't need to have an attention span. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
I want to know if I am the only one that finds it harder to pay attention and not get distracted these days.
Definitely not.
Is it our phones? Why is that? I was thinking about this the other day when I was writing, and I noticed myself checking my phone for basically no reason. There was no notification that made me do it, and I just kind of reflexively reached over and tapped it, and I was like, why am I doing that? And I was just getting distracted, and it was like, this is not a good thing.
I think it is our phones, but even more so, all of social media and wanting instant gratification. And also, these social media platforms have made it so that we don't need to have an attention span. And that's why YouTube is down and TikTok is up, because those are fast videos. You can swipe super quickly and go on to the next one, and you don't have to pay attention to something. If you don't care about it, you're on to the next thing. And same thing on Instagram. If you don't like the picture, you just keep swiping, and on stories you just keep going if you don't like it. And so you don't have to have an attention span. It's so weird too, because on TikTok you can listen 2 times speed, and now on Instagram stories, if someone's not talking fast enough, I'm not gonna sit there and listen to it.
Yeah, so it's part of that, and it's part of the idea that during any type of downtime that you would have to either be bored or daydreaming, whatever, you don't actually have to do that very much anymore. And so you're always having this opportunity to be fully plugged in and listening to something, having some type of input. So when you don't have that and you actually do sit down and try to focus on something, your brain isn't used to the actual minimal input, I feel like.
I really wonder how it affects kids in school, because I feel like it would have huge impacts on that, lifestyle.
We are lucky to have been born in the generation pretty much pre all the social media and super plugged into the smartphones. We had that, and I didn't get an iPhone until I think I was a junior in high school. So I was still a developing brain, but I wasn't a kid. And the kids now, they have access to this from basically as soon as their parents will give it to them. Mm-hmm. And their brains probably are not equipped to handle that, but I'm not even sure our brains as adults are equipped to handle this. Like I said, I'm noticing this in my own life, and if you're listening, you might notice the same thing. Sometimes, have you ever sat down and tried to watch a movie and realized I'm actually getting distracted from the movie? I'm checking my phone during the movie for, maybe no reason at all.
Yeah.
That's a problem, right?
Or the movie's too boring.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But before, you kind of didn't have the choice. If it was too boring, you either turn the movie off or you just kind of dealt with it in the silence and that part of it. Now, you always have an opportunity to get dopamine right from your phone.
I feel like it is about or you're more affected about who you surround yourself with too. I feel like the people we have held close to us when we're hanging out with friends and stuff, we choose people who aren't constantly on their phones, and it almost bothers us to be with people who are on their phones the whole time, because we're let's spend time together. We're here to hang out and talk and have conversation. But a lot of kids these days don't even know how to do that, and they're gonna swipe on their phone maybe they are having a conversation with you and talking to you, but they're also swiping at the same time.
It really feels that we live in a dystopian world when you're out in public and you take a second to look around and just view what everyone else is doing, their behaviors. Almost everyone is head down in their phone, in their own world.
No interaction with
No
anyone.
interaction. Really, you notice it. I was at the eye doctor the other day, and I was in the waiting room, and every single person's on their phone.
Meredith said the same thing about the nail salon. She said every single person was on their phone.
I was not on my phone because it's that one moment where I'm I have a moment to kind of just sit and chill for a second. I think after a certain amount of time, I would maybe get my phone out and things like that. But that's really when you notice it, you go out and look around, or like at dinner, like if you go to a restaurant, notice like kids or even other like adults, a lot of them are at the table on their phones, not talking.
We really try not to use them out at dinner, and I think that's because we rarely go out to dinner. So when we do, we really cherish those moments, and we're like, we are just going to sit down and enjoy this moment together.
You know who I also see very impacted by this? Like my mom, your mom.
Yeah, the older generation.
The older generation is, I think, very affected. Like every time, like your mom comes to visit, or like my mom's here, a lot of times they can't help it but like check their phones.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, it's not because there's a call coming in or there's something important. There's something compulsive happening, like that's making you like, oh, I need to see what's going on Facebook or on my phone or whatever. And that is something that like we didn't have that before. I feel like social media was a thing.
I feel like a big thing that is impacted is relationships too, because if you are trying to have a special moment or just have a true conversation with the person that you love and that other person is scrolling on their phone, you are going to feel like you're not heard.
They even have research that shows that even having a phone present like on the table is like people view that as not disrespectful, or the person is not like thinks they're not as important.
Yeah.
Even if it's face down, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Now some people would say, oh no, but like I'm sure there is something subconscious there and maybe a message that's being sent. And I feel that we should be a little bit more like cognizant of like these decisions that we're making. And the reason I wanted to like talk about this today is I had that experience when I was writing. I was like, this is not probably a good thing that I was just like reaching over and compulsively. Am I addicted to my phone?
The thing that helps me the most is turning on the do not disturb, because if my watch or my phone doesn't ping, I don't think about it nearly as much.
I do two things. I turn on the do not disturb, and I try to leave my phone in a different room. If I do that, it significantly it helps me.
I have two things. First, I will say that the reason I feel that we cannot get past this as a society is because if you are the only person in the eye doctor not on your phone, you have no one else to converse with. If there were a few other people who are also doing what you are doing, you could enjoy your time. But instead, now you're staring at a wall and you're like, well, I might as well scroll on my phone because there's no one else here to communicate with.
Yeah, and you're thought to be kind of like a creepy person if you're wanting to talk. Seriously, like if you're sitting next to somebody. I think
it depends on your intentions.
No, I know. I'm just saying more like the stereotype is like, oh, they're just like so-and-so wanted
you
to have a conversation. You
don't give off that vibe
I'm not
any
saying
way.
I do. I'm just saying that there are people out there that would say someone like I had to talk to this stranger, and people don't want to have to talk to a stranger.
Yeah.
But a year or two ago, I met one of our neighbors at the eye doctor, and we did have a conversation. Neither of us were on our phones. We didn't know that we were neighbors at the time, but since we found out that we basically are, and that was one of those.
Then they invited us to their pool party.
They did, and that was one of those little serendipity moments that happened just in a striking up a random conversation. But I actually saw a study. What is the current generation right now that are like coming up and becoming adults? Gen Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z struggles to have phone conversations like with strangers, like somebody's like if they have to call and make a doctor's appointment, if the doctor calls them or something. Apparently there's like these studies that are coming out that are showing that they have a lot higher stress around that, or really prefer not to do that. They do not want to have to converse with a stranger.
No one really calls anymore. It's all texting, messages.
But it's kind of like that face-to-face thing. We're losing that capacity to do that if we're always on our phones. We're never having these conversations with people that we don't know. Do you think that's going to become like a lost art? We're going to lose that?
Yeah. I think people really don't like it.
You don't like it.
I don't like it, but I'll do it. Yeah. I don't make you do it for me.
No, you don't. You don't. Well, if someone called, you might. Danielle always gives my number out to people.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, you don't, because you don't want to be the one to have to talk to them.
So there's a new, I think it's new, invention. It's called, I'm pretty sure it's called the brick. Have you heard about it?
Oh, yeah, I've heard about the brick.
Okay. I thought I was about to tell you some groundbreaking news.
I really want to get a brick, but they're kind of expensive. I think they're like $60 or something.
That's not that expensive.
But I'm just saying it's expensive for something that I can literally solve by leaving my phone in the bedroom.
All of these influencers talking about it. I feel like you and I do have good self-control and that we could put our phone somewhere if we really needed to like do that. But I think it's a great invention for people. A lot of people are like, well, I would just not use it. That's not the point. If you're not going to use it, then don't get it. But if you would like to work on it, basically it's this thing. I'm pretty sure it's a magnet and it goes like on your fridge and you scan your phone to it and it will lock you out of the apps that you want. And so some people are like scanning this before they leave the house. So you can't get on Instagram till you get back home and scan back in. It's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's like, it's very easy to bypass if you're willing to walk up to it and like tap the brick, but once you leave, I think it's very difficult to get around the things that you've set up. So like you physically have to go like unbrick your phone to do it, and just that makes, because there's like I've experimented with the like focus apps, because you can download a focus app and you can tell it which apps you don't want you to use.
That's cool too.
But all you have to do to undo that is literally go into that app and like press a button and it lets you in all your apps.
It's still a good barrier though.
It is, but I feel like it's not the same. It doesn't. I didn't use it long term. It's way more effective to me to like leave the phone in the other room. And the reason that ultimately I decided to not do the brick is because if I really want to get off of it, then I just need to leave it in the other room.
Yeah. Do you know something else that motivates me?
What?
The notification every week that tells you your screen time. And so I'm like, ooh, I want to see that number get lower.
What is your number most of the time?
4.
4?
Yeah, I feel like it's not so bad.
That's not bad.
For my job.
No, the thing that's really good about that is you're literally on your phone a lot for your job.
My worst number that I see is 6.
Oh, 6 hours?
Yeah.
Well, you're on your phone a lot for work. Yeah. I would just be honestly.
I don't
if you go below 4, that might mean you're not working enough. You need to stay at a certain number. Mine is like 3.
I don't
2 to 3.
enjoy scrolling. I only enjoy scrolling on TikTok. I don't really enjoy scrolling and doing that much on my phone otherwise. And I think that is because of my job. I just am on Instagram so much that in my free time, like to me, that is work. So why would I want to do that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah, but the brick is a cool concept. I do think that we're going to start to see more harmful effects from this type of stuff. And I do wonder, like, there probably is going to be a generation that comes up that kind of the pendulum swings the other way and they're wanting to be on their phones less and things like that, because you do realize, wow, this is probably not the most healthy thing all the time. I mean, I actually feel
it will be Gen Z though. I think it will be the next generation who starts to put it into
like
effect.
Callan's generation.
Yeah.
I do think though.
I think they'll see the bad effects and they'll kind of like, we will want to do things differently than our parents. We're like, oh, we don't want to be like that, so we're not going to do that. I think that Callan's generation will see that with the phone usage of the generation before.
You know, it would be a cool concept, and maybe we should implement this when your mom comes this week. Have a phone bucket. Like, basically, when you walk into our house, phones go up front, and you can go get it for a call, but it goes back in the bucket.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Honest, that is something.
What's the consequence if you go get it?
If you go
you
get
have
it for
to buy me ice cream.
If you go get it for a call, no consequence at all. But if you go get it to like check something, I don't know, should be pretty severe.
Ooh.
Maybe 10 push-ups. I don't know, something. I think that would be a really good concept. I'm maybe not like for having guests in your house, because like, well, you're not trying to.
Yeah,
like,
Nick's like,
control.
We're going to implement something with our guests here.
Yeah. No, but it is the, and I'm sure my kids would bother me too, but like it is guests that bother me. Like it bothers me when my mom's here and like we're having family stuff and she gets her phone out.
Yeah.
That bothers me. And it's like, no, like that shouldn't be an option. And the fact that like it's so easy, like.
And probably because
like
you don't spend that much time with them. So when you do have them, you're like, let's spend quality time.
Yeah, I really don't. It really bothers me. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it bother you?
Yeah, it does. Like this past weekend when I went and stayed with my friend, most of the time she's like, I don't even know where my phone is. Like we just were not on our phones, and it was so nice to be with someone who was like-minded, and we just wanted to hang out and have good conversation and have a good time.
Yeah, and I guess the real problem with it is it upsets me because I'm not the one that wants to be on my phone right then. And then if they are, it's like, okay, like you said about sitting in the waiting room, do I then go get my phone? Do I go get a book? Like I'm clearly not going to have a conversation with you. And it really bothers me when they're trying to have a half conversation with you and you're just like, either have a full conversation with me and don't be distracted.
Sometimes I won't talk to the person if they're on their phone. I'm not even going to waste my time.
No, I don't want to. It's like you're talking to like half their brain is in the conversation.
I wonder too how all of this stuff will affect the next generation's creativity.
Well,
and that I guess goes hand in hand with AI. I feel like
yes.
it will take away creativity.
One thing that I think there's so many awesome things about AI and what it's going to do, but one of the bigger things that like I worry about, this is going for kids for sure, but as well as adults. The only reason I think it affects adults slightly less is if you've had to live your whole life up to a certain point without a tool, you at least learned the skills to like develop critical thinking skills and things like that. If you never had to develop those skills, then you literally just didn't have them. But I think like anything, your critical thinking skills can atrophy or your creativity can atrophy. And so I do worry, like if every time you are asking a question and you go to ChatGPT or you have a paper or some type of like project at work and you have the very first thing before you think about it is you're coming up with a prompt and it's giving you the first idea to start down the road, you didn't have to generate that idea. It generated it. Now, it sometimes may have a better idea than you, but just like working that muscle is an important thing for your critical thinking and creativity. If you don't do it, are you going to lose it?
Some of our friends use ChatGPT to ask everything in their life. I never even thought to ask life questions. I'll only ask things like, I don't know.
You have friends that are asking it life questions?
Yes.
Like what?
Literally everything.
Like what should I do with my life?
Not like that. Like walking, I don't know. Like what, I bumped my head. What's going to happen to me? I don't know,
oh, they're
like
using
stupid.
it like Google.
Yeah, like Google. Not life questions like what's going to happen to me or whatever you said. But
what should I do with my life?
Yeah, what
like
should I do with my life? No, yeah. Just like anything that occurs in their life, if they have a question, they're asking it like it's Google. Yeah. I don't do that.
There's times that I'll go to it now. Like I had it help me plan our trip to Germany. It really,
that is a cool concept.
It helped me come up with like the timetable of everything.
Here's like a silly example. They were cooking salmon and it turned white and they were like, why did my salmon turn white? It's just like, that just happens when you cook it. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to ask ChatGPT, but I feel like people get so hung up in like all these little details and they're like, want to ask for confirmation and it can become a lot. Like you're going to be dependent on this thing now, which could go away at any point. It probably won't, but it could.
Yeah. Having the well, think about, that's the whole point of like the critical thinking and all of that. And people said that was going to happen with Google, and it probably has happened to a certain point.
Definitely.
You don't have to know stupid facts and all of that stuff, but it is, if you can't recall it without the internet, you're kind of like, you're relying on that. Mm-hmm. And so there's a certain amount of like knowledge that you should have in your brain. I think if you like take it to the extreme and you're like, I need no knowledge and I can ask Google any question. It's like, yeah, but you have to be able to interpret and synthesize the information and to be able to use the information well. And so if you know more things, you're probably going to be able to, understand the information that you're getting a lot better and implement it well. I mean, that's a very good example with ChatGPT is like if you ask it to like do a business plan for you and things like that. We've asked it business questions before. Some of the stuff it comes up with is actually really good, but it can't give you the experience of like doing the things and understanding which parts are important, what you should take, what you should leave, actually how to do it. Like this really may not work because of X, Y, and Z because you have the experience. So there is no substitute for actual real learning and the experience of the stuff.
How do you think the workplace is affected by all this phone usage? Like they can't really tell people that they can't be on their phones, I feel like. So
no, I feel like work can, but I feel like a lot of workplaces don't.
So how can they make sure people are actually doing their work?
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, it's the same thing like people that get to work from home. How do they know that they're doing their work? I feel like it's a balance of stuff. There's a certain amount of like things that you want to control your employees to make sure that they're doing your work. But if you go too far the other way, no one's going to want to work there.
Yeah.
But there's places that you hear people like, yeah, if I'm like computer tracking screens and stuff for people that work from home to make sure that they're like actually doing stuff. on
Well, and
their
a lot of
computers.
places are making people go back to the office.
Yeah, that's also happening. So I think that's a balance thing. There are definitely people that probably struggle with that, and they're at work and they're on their phones a lot. And that is an issue, and the companies are going to have to deal with that. And then there's other people that have more self-control and are totally fine to put them away. Like, I can't get my work done if I'm on my phone.
But you care. Some people don't care. They're going to their job so they can get paid.
Yeah, well, if your company is going to let you get paid to scroll social media, I guess do it. I don't know. I mean, if your company doesn't care and, you're just showing up, then you get to make your own decisions. Another big piece of distraction that I've noticed is I have an Apple Watch, and I love my Apple Watch for a lot of things, but sometimes it is a little bit much having that extra notification ding on my wrist.
You could turn it off.
The do not disturb really works. I really like it for like the fitness tracking and all of that stuff, and just like my day-to-day things. I also wear it for like my sleep, but
You could probably make it so texts don't come through on it.
I'm sure that I could. I
You're like,
know
I
that
kind
I
of like
could.
it.
No, I don't know. It's this decision point is you do want to have access to all these things, but sometimes the access is not good.
Yeah.
Like Danielle, when she's like upstairs and I'm downstairs and I don't see a text, she always is kind of like,
barely ever see my text.
yeah, that's true. But it's one of those things people nowadays expect you to see it, where before,
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? He has a watch on and he hasn't texted me back.
yeah, I don't know why your text, they do come through. They must come
He
through.
muted me.
Oh, I don't have the like vibration, I guess. It doesn't vibrate. Your phone vibrates and your watch vibrates. I don't think I have that on anymore. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know why they don't come through.
Maybe you just ignore me.
Yeah, probably. Well, I feel like we didn't solve why or how to fix the distraction
If we could,
issue.
we would be millionaires probably. But brick is a good idea.
Yeah, brick is a good idea. It would be interesting to try. I think the first important thing is that recognized it, we talked about it, and hopefully we can try to be a little bit more present, particularly like around the people that we love. And
now you know, if you come to our house, your phone will go in a bucket.
Are we implementing that?
I don't know. Probably not. It seems a little,
Draconian.
yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.